All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Podcast. Me and Gorak was just talking about a show he went to recently. He went and saw Static X, Soil, and Witch Grinder. But you haven't heard of the other two bands? You haven't heard of Soil or Witch
Witch Grinder? No, I've only just discovered them because they followed me on Instagram.
Hey guys, follow me too. Come on now.
And they followed Pink Sock since I've told them that we booked them in.
Badass. By the way, guys, you heard it from Gorak first. Next week, Monday, live, we have Witch Grinder from Melbourne, Australia.
Which is what's his name? Gilby Clark's side band. No, I'm joking.
Oh shit, that'd be funny if it was.
Doesn't it look like Gilby Clark?
A little bit.
Put it back up again.
Hold on, let me get it back up here. Hold on. Boom.
Yeah, look, it's Gilby Clark there.
He does, and then the other guy kind of looks like John Five, but
and the other guy on the far left, my left, looks like the bassist from System of a Down, but without the long goatee.
Yes, he does. So, bro, did you say before you went live that you
Guns of a Down?
Did you say before you went live that you haven't heard of Soil?
I've heard of one song, and that was that Halo song because it kept popping up in my It kept popping up on my playlist and stuff like that.
Bro, that song was a hit back in the day. My little halo.
It sounded really good live. You know, a funny story too. Halfway through that set, there was two guys getting into a fight in the pit, and one of the guys, they stopped, and one of the guys got kicked out, and he goes, "Man, they're fighting already. We haven't started playing Halo yet."
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, about Soil is there for a while, Ryan McCombs, the founding vocalist, actually left Soil for a few years to join Drowning Pool after the death of Dave Williams.
Yeah.
No. Jason Jones.
It was after James Jones.
Jason Jones, yes.
Jason Jones, sorry.
You're good. I forgot about Jason.
Yeah, he didn't last long, but they went back and forth with this guy though.
Yeah, Ryan was missing on 2 Soil albums.
Oh, okay.
He actually was out of the band between 2004 to 2010. So about 6 years. AJ Cavalier actually replaced him.
Okay. But then now he's back with the band.
Yeah, he's back with the band. They've released 2 albums since his return.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a new one coming up, if I'm not mistaken. From what I saw on Wikipedia.
I believe they just released one last year.
Okay, cool. No, I was surprised by them, man. Like, they sounded really good.
Dude, they were amazing. But let's talk a little bit so the people know who we have next week. Witch Grinder. I was listening to them because when you mentioned them, I've heard their name mentioned before. It might have been through you, but I've never sat down and actually listened to them. They're an industrial thrash metal band.
Yeah, from Melbourne.
I've not heard much industrial and thrash crossovers before.
Me either. When I met the singer after my meet and greet with Static X because I had to go. I could have stayed and hang around for Soil because it was 2 meet and greets in one, but because they fucked up the times for the meet and greet, it was supposed to be before the show, but then because for some reason they were running late, it was after the show, so it was like around about 11:30 p.m.
Fuck,
and
dude.
stuff. It would have been cool to meet the guys from Soil, but like I don't want to miss my last ride home. Because then if I miss my last one, I have to wait for another 4 hours.
That fucking blows, dude. It would have been cool to meet Soil. We probably could have gotten Ryan on the show.
Yeah, that would have been cool, you know. But when I was leaving, this guy just walked past because the Static X meet and greet. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, were you guys playing earlier? He goes, yeah, Rich Grinder. I'm like, oh, I don't want to sound like a weirdo, but I slipped into your DMs to say that you guys sounded really good tonight.
Oops.
And then
So how
we started chatting, And he pulls out his pass and goes, "Dude, I'm so fucking blessed to be on this fucking tour and to be with like my idols, Static X, and then get to tour with Soil." And then he was telling me stories about Zero, right?
Mhm.
Um, Something that he hasn't really told anyone outside of the band, but you hear it first. But he was telling me that he goes, "We all know it's Etzel and Etzel dope and stuff like that." But like, he's the reason why he doesn't want to reveal his identity. It's because like he wanted to keep it privately and respect
Mhm.
like the legacy of Static X and
Yeah,
try to carry what Wayne Static's been doing for all those years, which I think that's pretty cool because he doesn't want to be known as the singer for the band.
exactly. And I was reading into it, and they don't want to take away, like you said, from the legacy of Wayne by having a new guy kind of in the band. Now, the thing that I didn't agree with, the only thing I didn't agree with about the whole Static X reunion was the zombie mask with the Wayne Static hair. Like,
Oh,
I
the
thought
Death Mask.
I thought that was kind of weird. I like the new robotic mask though. That's pretty fucking.
Yeah, that was sick. He had like the red eyes and shit. But then he was saying he's just like a really private dude.
Mhm.
Um, like he'll turn up the sound check for a couple of minutes or so, and then he'll just walk off stage and just be in his dressing room chatting, hanging, and he'll hear conversations with him and stuff like that. And he said too, like after each show, he is the first one to leave off stage and first one to leave out of the venue, but he has security guards around him.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah.
I kind of see it because if you look back, like if you look at like Static X and all the other bands that Dope has toured with, and Dope was really popular, but you rarely ever see any Etzel interviews. You rarely ever hear anything about Dope outside of the stage and the music.
Yeah. Well, now there's Etzel dope interviews now on YouTube,
Well, yeah, and
obviously.
also
But
like
like years ago, that really wasn't.
no.
You
And
know.
also, he seemed very private. And also, the only thing you'd ever hear, especially recently, is like the only more recent thing I've heard other than interviews was his controversial like arguments and shit with Trip.
That yeah, and I think he had a online beef with Rob Flynn
Mhm.
from Machine Head
Rob,
when
um,
while Dope had more listeners than Machine Head.
I love both bands though.
Same. Yeah.
Now, Machine Head has kind of become Rob Flynn's Megadeth. It's
Yeah.
just him now. Well, I think he got the original band back together recently, but there for a
Oh, it's just
while,
for the Burn My Eyes 20th anniversary, I think it was.
yeah, it's kind of like his solo band, but under the name Machine Head, it seems. Which nothing wrong with that. Oh, by the way, Gorak, I know I've mentioned this a lot on this show, but I have to promote the hell out of myself. So don't forget, guys, if you live in Ohio and you live in the Belmont County area or you don't mind traveling, your boy is doing stand up comedy on August 20th. Doors open at 6:30. Showtime is around 7, depending on how long it takes people to come in. We have the venue until 11, but everybody has to be out by 10, or if you clean up after yourself, you'll probably get a longer show because we have to be cleaned up and out of there by 11. But we have Sable Vance. She's opening. She's incredible. You have me, who is second. You have Matt Cooper, who's last. We have something special at the very end of the show. Tickets are only $5. It is in a like a basketball gymnasium. Tickets are available while supplies last. We can fit 200 people in this mug. So let's try to sell this place out. If you don't mind traveling, come on out. This is all of our debuts in comedy, so it's going to be kind of an amateur night. So cut us a little bit of slack.
At
But
least it's not. At least you're not fucking like your first stand-up comedy isn't going to be like in a nightclub, though. You know what I mean?
that's why I did it. I could have done an open mic night, and I think I'd probably be more confident with a 5 minute open mic night set.
Yeah.
Because I feel a little bit like I'm in over my head, but I know I can do it, and I love challenging myself in this way. What I did is open mic nights are 5 minutes. Now, that's good when you have your time kind of set and you are able
Yeah.
to tell the stories. I'm giving myself a little leeway. I'm giving each of us 10 to 20 minutes. Matt has more stories to tell and more of a following than I do, so I gave him a little bit longer than us. But each of us are just going to tell as much jokes and stories and have as much fun as we can within reason, like 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. I don't want to be rushed and have 5 minutes and freak out. I decided, fuck it, I'm going to book my own venue and have fun with it. Let the crowd
Yeah.
have fun. Let us all have fun.
Why the fuck not, man? That's what you guys are there to do. You
Yeah.
know?
And I don't
Yeah.
like the panic of like a 5 minute, 10 minute set with an open mic night, which I
Oh
do keep.
no, dude, you have to. If it's not gonna be like a 5 minute thing, it's like you just have to go for it. You
Yeah.
gotta have a plan though. But like
Yeah.
5 minutes to me, that's short.
It is. And the thing is I do plan on doing open mic nights. This is kind of like my test to like figure out what jokes are working, what stories work, what stories people love. And I have a lot of plans, but I'm going into it kind of improvised, kind of like I do this show, but I have set plans, set stories. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get a lot of laughs. Matt's fucking hilarious. Sable's fucking hilarious. I'm not going to be cocky, so I'm not going to judge myself, but it's going to be a fun fucking night. So, guys, come on out. And if anything, you're going to have great crowd interaction because at the end, we plan on doing a lot of crowd work and we plan on combining our crazy minds.
And if you guys don't show up, Ghostface will come and get you.
Dude, that's a brand new tattoo, and I fucking love it, dude.
Everybody loves it. You know what's really funny too? Um, I was this guy that I was chatting to at the meet and greet before we got led into Soil's thing. We're like, so you like horror movies? He goes, yeah, man. Fucking I love horror. I'm like, you like the Scream movie? He goes, yeah. So I'm like, I got this Michael Myers tattoo and I got this one recently. And then all these other metalheads started looking at it and had a look. You know what the first thing they said?
What?
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of horror movies, guys, sorry to interrupt you, Greg, but I need to remember this. I don't have a flyer for this yet. I'm going to make it either tonight or tomorrow. But Wednesday, join us live, same time, same place, same pink sock time, same pink sock place. We're going to be reviewing Evil Dead, not the Evil Dead, the original, but Evil Dead, the remake. We're going to be, well, it's not really a remake. It's a reimagining / sequel. It's all in the same universe.
I just say it's a reboot, but like on its own version of it.
Well, after this last movie, they're all kind of connected in a way. So it's not really a reboot. It's not really a remake, but it's its own thing in the same universe. We're going to be reviewing that. And then next week, we're going to do Pink Sock Live. We're going to discuss random shit like we normally do. But
no, next week we got Witch Grinder.
Oh, sorry. I forgot already. Witch Grinder. Sorry, at noon. Well, the reason why I keep forgetting is because they're from Melbourne, and normally people from Melbourne want to be on here later on in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm
but I've told him the time difference and stuff, so he's cool.
Okay.
He's a fucking rock star. They stay up late. Come on.
Okay, as long as they're fucking cool with it, dude, I can accommodate because Pink Sock Podcast, depending on where my life goes in the next couple months, we might not be live all the time anymore because I've been looking at like job opportunities and shit, and most of them are Mondays through Fridays during the time of the show. So we may or may not have to tweak the show a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Gorak, Wednesday, next Wednesday, we're going to be reviewing our last Rob Zombie movie. I wasn't going to add it to the list, but I did. I forget the full title of the goddamn movie.
Something El Besto?
Rob Zombie, El Bisto, The Haunted World of El Super Bisto. It is a comedy animation film. It's not really a horror movie. We might not even add it to our ranking list. I just want to watch it just to see what it's like, because I personally have been wanting to watch it, and it gives me a reason to watch it. And then we are going to be ranking all the Rob Zombie movies from worst to best. We're not going to be doing that. I was originally going to do it as a reacts episode. I'm not. It will be 2 Mondays from now, the Monday after Pink Sock with Witch Grinder, our new friends from Melbourne. We are going to be ranking the Rob Zombie albums. Now, Gorak, I know we're planning way ahead.
Albums or videos? I mean, movies. You said albums or movies?
I meant movies, sorry. Now, Pink Sock Reacts 3 weeks from now. I already have an idea of what I want to do, but it's totally up to you, Gorak.
Yeah.
Because it is your turn. What movie or album do you want to do?
Let's do the new Ghost cover album.
Okay.
EP. They just released a new EP album.
Let's do it.
It's actually really good. They did See No Evil by Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden.
Okay, let's
do it. They did
a
Tina Turner cover, which sounded pretty cool. But go check it out. It's really good.
Sweet. So now that we've done all these horror movies, we've done all these movies. Since you mentioned it, let's do Pink Sock Reacts. Let's do more music based for the next few episodes after we get the whole Rob Zombie thing out of the way. But for Pink Sock, towards like the first of the month area, let's do, and this is going to be hard for us to do, but since you mentioned Scream, let's rank all the Scream movies from worst to best.
Yeah, I think we could do that because we've seen them all, but there's no need to rewatch them. So
there's a couple I need to rewatch because, like, I've watched 1, 2, and 3 more than I have 4 and 5. So I will need to rewatch a couple. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'm sorry, that was a lot. I'm just trying to plan ahead a little bit.
But have you seen Soil live?
I have not seen Soil live. That's one of the bands that you've seen live that I haven't, besides Witch Grinder. I really do want to see Soil. I just never got to, because when Static X was touring, I saw them twice. And the first time I saw them, it was with Dope, Devil Driver, I forget who else. I think Raven Black. And Raven Black, by the way, you guys should check out. They are amazing. And
they need to come on here.
I've been working on it, and every time we plan something, and if she's watching this, it's nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not pointing fingers. It happens. It's life. But every time we plan something, something happens. Like
her eye. Her eye.
She injured her eye. Like I swear we're a haunted podcast. She injured her eye, and then we planned on another one, and it was like a hectic tour schedule, so she couldn't do it. And I believe the times before that was just really bad scheduling on either one of our parts. We will get her on here. It's going to be awesome. They're an incredible band. Go check them out, Raven Black. Also, they were on this show before, Wrath of the Fallen. I went and saw them recently again. They're a band that my cousin is in. Go check them out in Someday Saturday. Now, Gorak, local bands to you that you want to shout out, because I shout out local bands all the time. You have
local bands?
Yeah, local bands.
It seems hard, local bands in Wollongong, because I don't really get to see much around here, and it's really rare to find local bands here. They're mainly based on around Sydney and fucking other different states. You know what I mean? But
I'm gonna help you out. I'm going to find you local bands in Wollongong. How about that?
Yeah, go for it.
I just Googled it. Here are
Yep.
some Wollongong bands for you. Spacey Jane. They're an indie rock band formed in 2016. You have Thumblock, who is a stoner rock band from Wollongong.
I think Tumbleweed too, a local.
Tumbleweed is local.
Have you heard of them?
No, I have not, but they have been around since 1990.
Yeah, man, look them up, dude. A girl that I know, I think it was her uncle, plays in that band.
Oh, badass. Oh, I saw a movie recently, Greg. Sorry to cut you off with the music, but my brain is ADHD central. I was never diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I got it.
Yeah.
I saw a movie recently that you should check out.
What movie?
It is called Pinball. It's basically about this guy who single-handedly saved the game of pinball, because pinball was illegal as of I think the 70s or 80s.
Right. That's weird.
And he in New York, and he made it legal in the state of New York. Which is fucking rad to think something like pinball was illegal.
I don't know I'm not too sure what's so illegal about it.
They considered it a form of gambling, and it was random. So the guy had to go in front of a court system with a pinball machine and prove that the game takes skill. It's not random, and it's not a form of gambling.
Yeah,
hello, Renee. Thanks for joining, and thank you everyone for joining us. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. Go ahead, Gorak. What were you going to say?
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just trying to get in professional mode and tell people to subscribe and all that fun shit.
Oh, that's what I said at the gig. I said spread the sock.
Spread the sock. Dude, we're getting business cards. I'm trying so hard to get them.
Yeah. I tell them that, I do these podcasts, blah, 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 blah. And goes, oh, what is it? And I show them the Instagram thing, and they look at it, and they fucking laugh. I'm like, hey, it sounds innocent, but it's not.
It's not. It's really
they know straight away what a pink sock is.
Fucking pervs. That's not what I meant this show to mean, by the way. I'm just kidding. That's definitely...
Shut the fuck up, man.
Definitely what the show means.
Get out of here.
Get out of here with that shit. You chef.
You can't. Yeah, that's still the word in my workplace.
Chef.
Yeah, but yeah, another cool thing about the gig as well. I lost my pass.
How'd you get in if you lost your pass?
No. I got it when we got the early access, and then I was sitting down chatting to these two guys. Because this guy went up to me. He goes, "Oh," he taps me on. He sits next to me and goes, "Oh, I know." He just tapped my shoulder and goes, "Oh, I saw that you got Tobias Forge on your phone, and I wasn't trying to look at your phone and stuff, but that's a pretty cool picture of Tobias Forge on your phone." I'm like, "Yeah, big fan of Ghost. You going to see him October?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're taking our kids with them." I'm like, "Oh, I'll see you there."
Dude, you should meet up with him. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a couple of people that went to the Static X concert are going to see Ghost. I'm like, oh, I'll see you guys there.
So, dude.
But I did find the pass. It was underneath the seat.
Oh, I'm glad you fucking found it.
Yeah, it's
So, bro, what other gigs you got planned? What other concerts you going to?
Nothing for now, not till October, but
dude, that's badass. And you got it autographed and shit?
Nah, I got the poster autographed.
Okay. I saw you pass. See, I made the mistake. I had a pass when I met Alice, and I had him sign it. Don't get your passes signed, especially if they're laminated, because the signature rubbed right off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
That's with all the Static X members.
Well, I felt bad because I got my pass autograph to give to a friend because they're a big Alice fan, and it just rubbed right off. I'm like, fuck.
Should have taken a photograph of it.
should have. So,
But and then Soil.
the thing I know it's nobody's fault really, but like concerts are so damn expensive anymore. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, but these meet and greet tickets are $150. No ticket fees because it was last minute, and it's just like digital, or you can print them at home, so it's for free.
Like,
And
you can still,
I paid like
sorry.
$80 for the actual event ticket, so all up was like around about 200 and something bucks, which is nothing.
That ain't nothing. There actually is some, like, I retract my statement. There are some shows that are still cheap-ish. Like, I might be seeing Alice Cooper. I wasn't sure if I'm going to see him this year, but I got a
With
friend.
Rob Zombie?
Yeah, I have a friend. They told me that they might be getting 2 tickets and just give me one of them.
That'd be cool.
So I might be going with them, but it depends. But the tickets are only like 29, 30 bucks. So
For the Alice tour.
yeah, for the Alice and Rob Zombie, it's lawn. Like, it's not close to the stage at all, but
Who cares? You're fucking going. You're fucking going.
yeah, and I've already seen them multiple times. For me, seeing Alice isn't to see Alice anymore. I've got friends that go. I meet up with the same people. I hang out with them. It's more of like a reunion kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll still go. I'll still go for the hell of it. You know what I mean? Because he never disappoints.
By the way, I hate to be that guy when I say this because I know people mean well and stuff, but Ryan Roxie does support this show. This is kind of like a service announcement. Ryan does support the show. He is friends of ours. I don't talk to him on a daily basis. We're not close like this. Like, I don't go to his house or nothing, but like we talk occasionally. He's friends of ours. But I've been getting messages lately of people asking me for shit. They're like, hey,
like passes and shit.
they're like, hey, you're friends with Ryan. Can you get me tickets and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I get it. Like, some of these people can't afford tickets and they want them as gifts for their kids, or sometimes it's a sick family member. Like, I get you mean well. But no, I can't do that. We can't do that.
It's never gonna happen, man.
I don't even ask for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah. You want to do the right thing and just buy the ticket from the event place.
Like, granted, like, I'm sure if I asked, hey, like, do you want to hang out at the show and shit, like, he would hang out and shit. I'm not that kind of person. I don't expect anything handed to me.
No, me either. Like, that's why I thought like it would have been cool to see Dope opening up for Static X for this tour, because it would have been good to see Dope live and get to see AC play.
I guess what my point is if you know somebody is friends with a musician or has connections, I'm not saying that I do, but like if they have connections or can get tickets or whatever, don't hit them up asking for free shit. Like, I get it. You mean well for kids, or you mean well for whatever, and I'm not saying anything negative about it. Like, if you want to be friends with me, cool, but don't ask for that shit, because I wouldn't do it for myself.
Yeah, that's true. But like when you were saying how concert tickets are so expensive, merch is so expensive too.
Merch is, but it's not the band's faults. It's not the venue's faults per se. A lot of these venues, though, raise the prices because of the pandemic shit, but you are starting to notice some concerts aren't as much as they once were. It just depends on the artist. Like, if it's a stadium show, then yeah, like Motley Crue and shit.
But like, how much do they charge for t-shirts and stuff at gigs?
Who, Motley Crue?
No, just like in general, like.
The last time I went to a show, and it's been a few years, the last time I went to a major show was Rob Zombie, I think.
Is that with Riggs? Or no?
That was with John still.
Okay.
That was one of the last tours with John. but I didn't look at the merch. So the last show I went to where I looked at the merch was when I went with my mom, and that was an Alice Cooper show, and an Alice shirt at that gig was, I think, $40.
Oh, really? T-shirts in here. Well, I bought my Static X tour T-shirt. I got it for like $50.
It was about $40-$50 maybe. I could be mistaken.
Hoodies are around about $70.
No, the one
but
thing
they
that
didn't have any. But like hoodies are around about that.
The thing that blew my mind is when I saw Ozzy Osbourne, they were selling like a denim shirt that had Ozzy on the back of it for $100, and I'm like, just buy a denim jacket and buy the patch.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do have a denim vest with patches on.
Like,
I've only wore it once, but yeah.
Like, god damn, bro, that shit was fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not one to bitch and say I can just do it myself for cheaper, but like, fuck.
Well, old school metalheads now still do that type of stuff, you know.
Well, what I was gonna do,
which is kind of cool, I think.
What I was gonna do is I was gonna get a denim jacket like people do and put all the bands I've seen live on there.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to a lot of shows lately, but over the years of bands that I've seen, I'd need a fucking jumpsuit. Like a denim Carhartt.
Yeah.
Because
that'd be cool. But yeah, a lot of people are doing the whole denim patches thing now still. I saw it at the Static X gig on the weekend. People are doing that and shit.
Dude, what I really want to do is I want to do the whole patches thing, but there's a lot of bands that I've seen. Well, not a lot, but there's a handful of bands that I've seen that aren't like metal because that's not all I listen to.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting their name, but in like metal logo looks, like Weird Al Yankovic and Barry Manilow, and like a metal looking logo.
In the death metal logo.
Oh, yeah, like fuck, why not?
And shit.
Like,
another good thing too, before I stop talking about this concert, but like Static X pretty much played every album and played at least like 1 or 2 or 3 songs from each album.
Dude, that's cool as fuck.
But then it was the 20th anniversary of the Machine album, so that's why it was like the Rise of the Machine.
That makes sense. That fucking
tour.
makes sense.
Well, they played like maybe 6 or 7 songs from the Machine album. Then I played like a little tribute to Wayne, and then a couple of songs from Shadow Zone, and 1 song from the latest album and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool that they played the whole catalog instead of, you know, how bands just play like the most popular songs and maybe 2 or 3 new songs and that's it. Yeah, these guys played the entire catalog, which is kind of cool.
That's cool as shit. Iron Maiden did that when I saw them. It was very interesting hearing Bruce Dickinson sing The Klansman.
Yeah, right. How long ago was that? Was that like from the book of...
That was the Legacy of the Beast tour.
Oh, yeah.
They did at least 1 song off of every album, or every era. Not every album, but like every era. And
that's pretty cool.
And they did like 2 Blaze Bayley songs. And I'm like, it's interesting hearing Bruce sing those songs.
If it was Blaze Bayley heard it, he would have been like, "Fuck yeah!" You know, the main guy from Maiden just sang my song. Like, wouldn't you be fucking stoked?
See, I know Blaze Bayley got a lot of fucking like hate when he was in the band, but if you go back and listen to those albums, I think they're not the Maiden of Dickinson era. They're not the Maiden of what's his name? Paul
Diano?
Yeah. They're not that era. It's the instrumentals is very much Maiden, but the vocals are very much different in a good way. And I think Blaze didn't get enough credit as a vocalist for that band.
Yeah, most vocalists that are like unknown that fills in for big bands, they never get credit for what they do.
No, especially like bands like Sabbath or Maiden or even Judas Priest. Now, I'm not a fan of Tim Ripper Owens' politics. I'm not a fan of like some of the things he said and done over the years. But the dude was a great replacement vocalist for Rob Halford. Now, I don't know if it's because he can imitate Rob's voice. I think that was kind of like a thing that people hated. They didn't try anything new, they just imitated. But he's still a great vocalist, and that's a hard vocal style.
Yeah, it is. Although Tim the Ripper Owens did play in Australia for a couple of days, and my mate played guitar for him.
See, Tim
That's
was
pretty
a
cool.
great vocalist. He is a great vocalist. I don't know why I said was. He was in Iced Earth. He was in fucking Dio's. Was it Dio's Disciples or was it the other band that he was in?
Dio's Disciples, I think it was.
Okay, because they have Dio's Disciples and then they have the
I
last
think so. I can't remember.
because there's two Dio bands and they're all different members that was in Dio's band at one time or another. And then I think it's Last in Line or Dio's Disciples that use like a fucking hologram of Dio now.
Yeah.
But Tim Ripper Owens sung for one of those bands. He also sung for Judas Priest. And that's the thing a lot of people really hate on him for is he is a replacement vocalist. He was the replacement in Iced Earth. He was the replacement for Dio. He was the replacement for Priest. But it fucking works.
Yeah. It's the same with John Corabi, which John Corabi, by the way, is back in the day, Dead Daisies.
I saw that. Now, the thing with Corabi, though, is he was the original vocalist of Scream, I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
He also, unlike with Ripper, when he joins a band, he makes it his own.
Yeah.
Like with the Daisies, he had more of like a raw vocal style. When he was in Crew had more of like a grungy feel when he was in the band.
Yeah, because it was in that grunge era.
Yeah, and like I love that era of Motley Crue. I think Generation Swine would have been a better album if Corabi sung on it.
True.
Because a lot of those songs were written for him to sing on.
But I'm just stoked that he's back at the Dead Daisies because
Too.
the second album that was released, his first album that he recorded, that was a great album.
Bro, I'll be honest, I didn't really give Glenn Hughes era much thought when it came to the Daisies because I was huge into like the Daisies even before Corabi. Like I loved all eras of Daisies. And when I heard Glenn Hughes, I'm like, I love Glenn. I love his bass playing. I love his vocal
I kind of
style.
think that his vocal style didn't really work for the band.
I didn't think it would have worked. That's why I never really gave it much thought. But I did hear a couple songs, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
It sounded like the Daisies meet like Deep Purple.
Yeah, you could say that. But then I guess if you listen to the first Dead Daisy album, because that's an Australian band, right?
Yes.
But it was like an Australian supergroup because Richard Fortas and Marco Mendoza were one of the few of the originals for that band, I believe. But John Stevens, I think it is, he was the original vocalist.
Yeah. Well, the only original member, I think, the only non-stop original member that's been with the band since the beginning is David Lowy, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He is the founding member.
Yeah.
What is kind of funny is they covered the song. I forget the fucking song. I lost my train of thought. They covered a song about like not being born into fame and riches or whatever, and David's is the co-founder. Well, no, his father is the co-founder of some big organization.
Okay. The song Lock and Loaded, I think it's called. It had Slash in that song. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Dave is a great guitarist, though, and he's a great.
Very underrated.
Very underrated too. But yeah, he's the only original member. I guess after Crosby came back and with the leaving of,
Glenn Hughes.
yeah, we have a new bassist in the band too, Michael Devon. I don't know
From
who that.
Whitesnake.
Oh, from Whitesnake.
So Brian Tichy is back on drums.
Dude, that's
And
fucking.
so Brian Tichy and Michael Devon both played in Whitesnake in 2000s.
See, I didn't know that about Michael Devon. I have not heard that name before.
Good
Um,
bassist.
when I saw the Dead Daisies, it was interesting because the opening act was a former member of the Daisies,
Oh, was it? Who was it?
Dizzy Reed.
Oh, yeah. He was in the second album, first and second album, I think.
Yeah, and his band that opened was Hookers and Blow.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
It was kind of weird because they were playing, and we had like a meet. I was with a media company at the time, and we were invited backstage to just hang out with the Daisies. But the way they timed it was during Hookers and Blow's set.
Yeah.
So we got to hear it, but we didn't get to see it very much.
Still, at least you still get to hear the music, though. It
Yeah.
would have been good to see that visually, but like, as long as you get to hear the fucking thing.
Dizzy Reed, though, did a lot of like Guns N' Roses covers,
Yeah.
which was very interesting because he can sing really well. I don't know if anybody's listened to Dizzy Reed's vocals because most of the bands he's been in, he was backing vocalist. But the dude is an incredible vocalist.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I like this lineup of the Daisies now
Me too.
because
Solid.
I'm really looking forward to hear some really new music from them with Karabi back in there.
To celebrate his return, though, they did just release a best of album.
Yeah, they did, and they did a rehearsal, and that.
So
And Foo Fighters announced a new drummer.
Isn't there a new drummer? What's his name?
Josh Freese.
Yes.
Yeah, he left Offspring to join the Foo Fighters.
So is the Offspring like announced their new drummer?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, who's their new drummer?
I'm not too sure, but I have seen it popped up. But I did watch the rehearsal, the Foo Fighters rehearsal with Josh Freese, and it sounds pretty good. Like he just fits in. He's like one of those drummers that can just fit in with every band. You know what I mean?
Dude, I don't think he gets enough credit because the Offspring is a damn good fucking band.
Yeah, but have you seen Josh Freese's fucking resume?
No, I
The
haven't.
dude worked with Nine Inch Nails. He worked with fucking Pantera for a little bit. He worked with
Devo.
Dio. He worked with
Not Dio, Devo.
Devo, sorry. He worked with A Perfect Circle. Offspring.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses for a bit.
Sublime with Rome.
Fucking heaps, dude. Like it's just like he's like that well-known session drummer.
He also toured with Paramore.
Yeah, he's like the John Five of drums.
I don't know. I think that would be like Tommy Clefidis.
Yeah, but if you're looking for a session drummer, you know Josh Freese is that guy. I think.
If you're looking for a session bassist, Rudy Sarzo, Jesus criminally.
Yeah, there's that one too. But that was just pretty cool. I haven't listened to Foo Fighters' new single yet. I've listened to the new one, Rescue, and that sounds pretty good.
I've not listened to any new Foo, so I'd have to listen to that. But like back on like Rudy Sarzo, when I was looking him up, name any 80s band ever, and he's probably played for them. Like ever.
Yeah. He's probably played in he's probably played in fucking every 80s band.
Besides Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Because Nikki Sixx is the guy. He's the only constant member of Motley Crue now as of the Mick Mars thing.
Whoa, did you hear the statement that he made about Kiss, how he accused him for using backing tracks?
So he's being a hypocrite.
Yeah, and then they've been getting called out by fans that they use backing tracks.
The the thing with Motley Crue is they have so many bands that they've feuded with over the years.
I know. I like them, but I think it's just their fucking attitude and cockiness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you guys are old now. You're not fucking 20 years old anymore. Like, just chill the fuck out. You
Why
did your
not?
time.
Why not just call it quits like you originally did?
Yeah, they're planning to come to Australia, and I'm not going. Fuck that.
Oh, I didn't know this. They had a lead vocalist and slash rhythm guitarist in 1981,
Oh, really?
Greg Leon.
Okay.
He is most notable for his stint with Quiet Riot and Dokken.
That's cool.
I had no fucking idea on that one.
Yeah. That's cool.
Tommy Clefidis played drums for Motley Crue. Of course he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Crue's one of those bands that like I
Talk shit a lot.
don't think their ego matches like their talent per se. At least the ones that have the ego.
John Five spoke out for the first time about his departure with Rob Zombie.
Really, what did he say?
He said that he hasn't spoken to Rob since, but he hopes that they're still in good friends. But Rob wasn't too happy that he left his band to go enjoy Motley Crue. But he was just like, but then his reaction was like, whatever.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do what's best for you and your legacy and your career and shit. And like,
I think it's more of the money thing.
And money. I don't know. If I was a musician, though, you'd think, like, I get it. He's friends with Nikki and stuff. Yeah, I get that. But the money with Motley Crue is more. But I think I would have more fun, honestly, if I was in Rob Zombie.
A lot of people were saying that fucking Rob Zombie performs better than Vince Neil, which is true.
He does, but could you imagine if he replaced Vince Neil and Motley Crue?
That'll be. But when John Five left, did you think that straight away that Riggs would come back to the band?
Honestly, it happened so fast I didn't really have time to think of a replacement because they announced John Five was gone, and then like a couple weeks later they announced a replacement. Do you think that was planned though? Originally, like they knew ahead of time that all that was going to go down, or was it like a quick thing? Like, Riggs, are you free?
The only reason why Riggs left Zombie is because Rob Zombie wanted to focus more on films.
Yeah, I heard.
And then Riggs was cool. There was no bad blood, and so he just did his own thing instead.
Yeah, I heard that too. And then Rob, the reason why he got John Five was because Riggs was busy with Scum of the Earth, so he went ahead and got John, and that was supposed to be a farewell tour.
But then, yeah.
But then we saw
9 years later, he was in the band or whatever it was.
I don't know if I could have thought of a better replacement though than Riggs.
Dude, I saw clips and he brought out the Pig's Blood guitar.
I saw that. Who would, if it wasn't Riggs though, who the hell would have you picked?
For a guitar replacement?
Yeah.
I don't know, because that's hard.
Like
Zakk Wylde? Since Ozzy always hacked his fucking thing. But I would have liked to see like a full-blown Rob Zombie reunion with their OG. Because that's what I thought that was hinting. Because he kept posting up like old footage and stuff like that. But then Gingerfish and Piggy, they so fit in for the band.
You know who he should have had replace John Five?
Who?
Tom Five. Believe it or not, Tom Five was a guitarist for White Zombie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was in the band from 87 to 88.
That's cool. I like
Another
that.
another good replacement would have been Jay Yinger, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was
From White Zombie.
the most popular member that was on every single release.
Yeah, but I doubt that because Rob doesn't really talk to the old band members apart from John Tempesta.
I I I think I know it's never going to happen because he doesn't think anybody actually wants it. But I would love at least once for them to do a White Zombie reunion.
That'd be cool.
Because, like, I get it. He doesn't think anybody would pay to see it and whatever. But, like, dude, just do it.
But I've heard stories that they've always, they always fight and they were never on the same tour bus while traveling and all that stuff.
I heard that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the last year of the band. Rob and Sean just weren't together anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they
They
just.
were they were like the I don't know how to put it, but they just didn't really gel as a
No.
band. They played on stage. Like, you know how most bands, they just play on stage, and when they're off stage, they're like, just like, go fuck yourself. See you later. You know.
I heard that for like decades that's how the Rolling Stones were.
Oh, really?
They like had separate tour buses and shit and just didn't talk much other than like doing music, like writing music and shit. I also heard that's how Led Zeppelin was when they did the reunion show. They just don't get along anymore.
Yeah. I guess if you've been in the band for that long and being that successful as well in a short time, like,
they just don't vibe well anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, that's what John 5 was saying is, I haven't spoken to Rob since, blah, blah, blah. And, I hope there's no bad blood because, like, I do love the guy. And Rob actually opened up his career for him as a musician.
I love John 5's playing, but I strongly think that like 60% of the songs that he wrote, we'll never know it was him. Because the dude's a ghostwriter. I don't know if you know that or not. But like he writes songs for, or at least used to write songs for other musicians.
Yeah. But John 5's a really creative dude. He's written so many good songs for the Rob Zombie albums in the past couple of years since he was in the band.
Would you like a list of musicians that he wrote for?
Yeah, go for it.
That we know of. He wrote.
So they call him Ghostwriter.
Yeah, well, some of the songs he got credit for. I've heard that he also wrote songs that he was a ghostwriter for, which means he made money, like they paid him to write a song, but he didn't get credit for it. He either wrote music for these people or he was a session musician for these people. John Witten of Asia, Robin Zander of Cheap Trick, Wilson Phillips, he was a ghost player. Salt and Pepper, he did a live show for Jay Leno. Rick Springfield, Night Ranger, he was a ghost player. Lita Ford, he was a ghost player. Ryan Down, Frosted, 2, of course. David Lee Roth, Marilyn Manson, Garbage, Loser, Rob Zombie, of course. Meatloaf, Paul Stanley, Saliva, Static X, Scorpions, Filter, Leonard Skinner, Hailstorm, Chuck Mosley, Escape the Fate, Ricky Martin, Hollywood Undead, Sebastian Bach, Alice Cooper, Steven Adler, Rod Stewart, Ace Frehley, Steve Perry, and Motley Crue.
Wow. Do you know the actual name, or does it just go by that?
He's went by John 5 for a lot of his career, but when he was in David Lee Roth, he didn't go by John 5. He went under his real name, John Lowry, or Lowry, how you pronounce his last name. His earlier stuff, like from like before he was in Manson, he went under his real name. I believe Manson gave him the nickname John 5.
Yeah, he did. But then like I would have to say like John Five and Josh Freeze have like huge resume for just being a touring musician
Yes.
or session.
There's nothing wrong with that either. I guess it'd be easier to just learn songs that somebody else wrote.
That's what I think that's what Blasco was saying. He rather he said something that he'd rather join a band and learn their songs instead of writing new music.
That's kind of like on the same vein as like Weird Al Yankovic. He said he'd much rather parody a song than write originals, and he does have a lot of great originals, in my opinion. I have a really wide palette. But yeah, like it's fucking crazy. Also, random thought. I was at work the other day, and they had like a random rock station playing or a random music station, and I knew every song playing, which is good and bad. Because I was going up front and to like the hot case that I work towards, and people up front's like, "What the hell is playing?" And I look at them, I'm like, "This is Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention," and they're like, "How the hell do you know that?" And it was his song "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow." Ever heard that song?
I might have heard of the name.
Watch out,
I rarely listen to Zappa,
dude.
but I think I might have seen like a documentary of his, and that dude can shred.
He can. Steve Vai didn't even make his band.
Yeah, right.
Young Steve Vai. He eventually did, I think, join the group, but he tried out when he was like 18 or 19, and he just couldn't play what Zappa wanted him to play because he was a perfectionist, and Zappa would randomly change the way the songs are played. Like he'd be like, "Hey, this song is jazz style, but can you play it reggae?" Like he would randomly change it up, and musicians would be like, "That's nearly impossible," and then Zappa would play it and then tell them to hit the bricks. Like
that's like really messing up with your mind right there.
Like,
You know,
wow.
you want to audition for this band, you know, and you're like, I've been learning this song for hours and hours and hours, and then they said, okay, I'm gonna switch this up. Can you play it like this?
Yeah, and the thing with Zappa is I don't know if he was necessarily a jam band per se, like Grateful Dead and shit was, but 9 times out of 10, he would not play the song the same way every night. He would change something subtly or completely change the styling of the song.
Yeah.
And I love that. I don't know if you've heard of Zappa Play Zappa, but his son does like a tribute to his dad. And
I did. I've seen some of his stuff. He plays a lot like his old man.
He does, but a lot of the complaints I saw was unlike his old man, he plays it similar to the studio album.
Yeah.
But anyway, Gorak, we are reaching the hour mark, so I'm going to get off here, get some food in my system. Is there anything you would like to promote or anything you would like to say before I start my promotional stuff and then call it?
The guys from Static X were cool. No, they weren't jerks. They're actually like cool people.
I have a friend that interviewed Tony, and he's really cool. Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, some dude drank his beer. He was cool with that too. And the guitar is Keiichi.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
That dude hasn't aged, and he used to play for this band from Melbourne, I think.
Dude, that's fucking
after Static X. And it's funny because that band that he played for, they went on tour with Hailstorm, but he wasn't in there. I think he went back on Static X. But yeah, I know. But I saw them play for Hailstorm, and then I met the singer from that band after the show, and then we just became good friends. And then a couple of years ago, when Static X came to Australia last time, she posted up this post saying it's good to see my good friend back up on stage with Static X. And I'm like, what? And then yeah, she's actually good friends with that guy because they used to play in the band together.
I saw a poster the other day before I go and do my promotional shit. I want to see this tour. Mudvayne announced that they were doing a headlining tour, and I'm like, I really want to see it. and then they announced their opening act. Now, this is kind of a subtle way to announce that a band's back together. They announced that Coal Chamber's opening.
Oh yeah, I saw that they did the first tour together.
And I'm like, wait, they're back together here? That was their way of announcing they're back together. They're just announcing a tour. I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I've seen footage of those, like playing their first show in 8 years.
Yeah.
Because the first time they played together was when they did the Soundwave Festival in Australia.
Well, I got kind of a taste. It wasn't really a Coal Chamber reunion, but I got a taste of a Coal Chamber reunion. Because when Devil Driver was opening for Static X, Dez was like, he's like, I don't do this too often. He might do it often, but he's like, this next song that we're closing with might make you feel a little loco. And they did Coal Chamber's Loco. And it was fucking awesome. Now, Coal Chamber is famous for Loco and, of course, their cover of Shock the Monkey. But I started digging more into their discography recently because I did love some Coal Chamber, but like I got out of touch with their music. They're a really good 90s band that didn't get enough credit.
Same with Kitty. The band Kitty played their first show in years.
Mm-hmm. So I would love to see some Coal Chamber. Now, guys, before we go, I'm sorry for interrupting you, Rack, but we're getting to that hour mark. Before we go, I'd like to give some shout outs. Go check out In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie. We have to give him a shout out because, you know, we're his favorite podcast. Just kidding. He has his own little radio show as well. Go check him out on Instagram. He posts it all the time. Also, we have Reignite with Cathy Grant. I do believe she just made a comeback. We have Death Comes Lifting. We have the MGC podcast, the VoiceIt Show, which I don't think they do anything anymore, but go check out past episodes. The Calabrese.
They've been really, 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 really quiet.
Well, Funky, I think, is in college, and Kanak is doing his own thing with his art. We also have Calabrese Mystic Cult of Horrors. We have Askadan, Just the Facts Man, incredible guy. Royce in the House, Rachel's Ghost, and of course, Dabs with Dads, which you can check out Dabs with Dads tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I might be on that show tonight. I don't even know if I'm booked or not. And also, speaking of Dabs with Dads, we have a Pink Sock Dabs with Dads collaboration with Sable Vance as well. Sable Vance, myself, and Matt Cooper are going to be doing a freaking comedy show August 20th. We appreciate anyone and everyone that can and will show up. There will be tickets available at the door, but please get them while supplies last because we can't guarantee we will have enough at the door for everyone that shows up. So show up as soon as you can. Doors might open earlier, but they will be open by 6:30. The show should start around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a fucking blast. It's going to be fun. Greg, what covers you have coming up? Cover songs. I know you do them.
I don't know. I've been learning Static X songs lately. And
release them. I'm proud of you and all of your covers, Gorak. I will see you Wednesday when we react to Evil Dead. That was the reboot, remake, whatever the fuck you call it, not the original. And also check us out Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm so fucking excited to talk to Witch Grinder. These guys kick some.
Shavo, John 5, and Gilby Clark. It's a band.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. But love you all. And as always, live long, rock hard.
What's your favorite scary movie? Yeah, wait.
You're supposed to say stay hard. That's been our thing for the longest time.
That's going to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm going to actually have Live Long, Rock Hard, that shirt that I have, but on the back it's going to say stay hard.
Yeah.
Live long, rock hard, guys. Have an amazing
And stay hard. Stay humble. Don't be a cunt.